I can't be the only one here, right?
Gaming is getting more and more popular. There are so many new titles coming out from different genres and series, it can be hard to keep track of them. Sometimes you rather play a game you played before because you feel like it. I'm not saying new releases are bad, but when you don't have the money, time, and or energy for them, you want to replay old titles before jumping into the new ones, because holy hell, we are eating good. 2024 alone had some great releases, ranging from RPGs to fighters and everything else in between. There is something for everyone. Not only that, but we still got some big names just around the corner, like GTA 6 and Metroid Prime 4. Me personally, I have been joyful with releases from some of my favorite series. Persona 3 Reload is a great remake, giving a fresh new take of a beloved classic. Sparking Zero brings back the Tenkaichi formula with some new exciting mechanics. Sonic X Shadow Generations has the base game remastered plus new content where you play as Shadow and getting a new story taking place from his perspective. Huh. I just realized something. These are basically games I've already played. OTP 3, Tenkaichi, and Generations. Granted, they added new stuff to make them distinct, but it's funny thinking about it that way. See, we got new games, but we also got a bunch of remakes slash remasters. Don't get me wrong, when it's done right, they're amazing. I kinda wish there were just more games instead. Just hope they won't flop. If you're on the internet, everyone and their mother knows about the commercial failure that is Concord. PlayStation wanted to make their own team shooter game with a $400 million budget. It was in development for years and it only lasted for about 2 weeks. Some problems have been the characters are uninteresting, the combat is slow, and having to pay $40 to own the damn thing. There have been rumors that it'll come back, but I think the damage has been done. I could be wrong and it will make a complete 180. For now, I think people will not care and play other slash older games that have done it better. Editor's note, as of October 29th, 2024, PlayStation closes Firewalk, the studio responsible for Concord. So, it's definitely never coming back. Now here's the question. What makes a game old? Based on who you ask, they may give different answers. Some say it's a game from the previous generation of consoles. Some say it's a game more than 10 years old. I'm personally more of the latter, as it's a better base point to identify them as such. Here's what a 10-year-old game looks like. The amount of car trips with this thing. Sometimes you're in the mood to replay a game you've beaten before, whether it has been a while or wanting to see if they hold up. Games that are so memorable, it shapes who you are. I know growing up, I used to play the same game over and over and over and over and over again. Those were much simpler times, and replaying them reminds me of that. Although I was a little shithead kid, but hey, that's neither here nor there. I remember when I played Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the first time, I could not finish it. During Canon's Core, where you play as Knuckles trying to find the switch to open the door for Sonic, you have to go underwater to get to it. This was the bane of my existence. I did not know there was an air necklace, nor there were air bubbles. Every time I go in, I drown and die. This is why it took me 10 years to beat it. I know replaying them after so long makes me play them better since I'm not a stupid kid anymore. It gives me a better light to them. However, it can also be darker and not as good. The first Tenkaichi being one of them. I thought this was pretty good until it wasn't. The combos are not fleshed out and it's very basic in its presentation. Thankfully, the sequels did them better. That's another problem with older titles. The new ones can be so much better that you don't want to go back to the old one. P3 Reload is a great example. Now that the game has been enhanced, I don't want to go back to the original anymore, which is a bummer. It's an overall good thing when this happens, but it feels like losing a part of yourself. It does hurt a little, but time passes by and you have to move on. Time and money can be a bitch for both aspects. Do you want to spend them on a new game or pick up and or replay a classic? I'm worried I'll dislike a game I bought or waste my efforts on an oldie, especially since games are expensive nowadays. Fortunately, this means it's thriving. Unfortunately, my wallet is not. Sorry if I seem to be rambling and not having more concise thoughts, but I want to bring this discussion topic to the table. There are a good number of new games out there, just be sure to find the one that's right for you. Playing older games can bring you a whiff of nostalgia, but it might not have aged well. Ultimately, it doesn't matter which is better because there are so many options out there. I'm just really glad to see the industry doing well.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I got some catching up to do.